So this is my to-do list for spring of 2020. It's the future. First off, maybe tomorrow, build the Brown Betty, which is the Friedman, BEOD / Dirty Shirley. We need to get that template printed. Someone with a printer needs to print me that and mail it to me. Anyone has a printer and wants to do me a solid favor, I need you to print one page of a PDF and then mail it to me. Let me know if you have a printer and you're willing to help me out. I would really appreciate that. I'm going to be building the Fjord Fuzz, the Mjolnar. It's spelled MJOLNAR. It's a silicon 2N222 is the part number on the transistors, and it uses these pink LEDs. I got these pink LEDs came in, and I've got a cell around here somewhere. Sometimes I'll keep it's not a good idea to test an LED with a 9-volt battery, and with a pen cell or a AA, it's not enough electricity. You can kind of fry out a. So yeah, that's the pink LED, pink ultra bright. I got a bag of 50. This Mjolnar fuzz uses those. Something that I read about that, like this company Fjord Fuzz, they tend to not release their designs. This one was released, and I noticed someone saying something about filtering, power filtering, and then later on I found a comment, someone asking them, hey, I have a Mjolnar and it only has 2 knobs or 4 knobs, and the other one is 3 knobs. And he said, oh, well, that 3-knob Mjolnar, it created issues when you powered it, when you daisy chained it off other pedals. So for me, I can try putting a 47 microfarad capacitor across the positive and the negative and see what that does. If not, I'll if I don't care for that, which I'm really not into putting snubber caps all over the place on circuits. I know some pedal guys that I've talked to, they're quick at the tongue to say, throw a snubber cap between the base and collector, a Q1 and Q. They can say that quicker. And I've seen PCBs that have, there's just capacitors tacked on all over the place. And what those do, they neuter your circuit. They drastically affect the tonality, the gain, everything about it. So yeah, that's one way to get rid of something that lives in the high end, is to completely remove all of the high end from the circuit. But that's not always going to be the, throw the baby out with the bathwater type of situation. So we've got build the Friedman BEOD. That's going to be a consideration for a front end for Class D amplifiers, what I run here. That might be something that will work out for me. Instead of using a modeler, I can use this latest kind of really popular distortion box. Supposedly the guy built this, he's got an amp, and the amp is the pedal in a so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that works out. Mjolnar it's got a reputation as a really good fuzz box. I like fuzz boxes, but I'm not so hot on germanium. And one of the comments that I had read was this Mjolnar, the guy said that was the only silicon fuzz that he ever liked. So that's why I want to try it. And then, of course, I found out that's why he gave away the design, is because there's something goofy with the power filtering, where if you stack this up and daisy chain it, you'll run into some noise issues or something, which for me really isn't a big deal. I mean, I would more than likely just throw a battery in it. If it's a fuzz, how long is the battery going to last? And that's a pretty cheap fix. So I need to build a preamp. I'm looking on Tagboard Effects. They've got a Bassman. They've got a, what do you call that, Laney, and a couple other. They're preamps. They're the front end of an amp with JFETs. So the thing about the JFET is it's a transistor looking thing, and they behave a lot like a tube does. So guys figured that out, and they started making these circuits where they would take a famous amplifier and then a tube amp, and then redesign it using these JFETs, and it's supposed to sound really just fantastic. So the idea of using Class D amps, and then you always have to, well, what's the front end gonna be? So these Tagboard Effects is the place that releases the Vero layouts, the lion's share of them that exist for free on the internet. I know there's places like Runoff Groove and other places, and some of that stuff is great. So yeah, definitely want to. The thing is like, if you read what the pros, techs, and experts say, any JFET you buy on eBay or from China is a fake JFET. Now, I've built stuff, but I don't know where I got my JFETs from. I don't remember. Maybe I ordered them from a reasonable, what do you call it? Not reasonable, reputable supplier. So that's what I need to find out. I believe a J201 is a 2N50. See, they stopped making the J201s, but the 2N54, 57s, I think they still make. Anyway, like if Tata has those, maybe get some and build that preamp. Now, the other thing, the LEDs in the Volvo amp, the bouncing LEDs, they never really ran right. Tonight I snipped the input lead and moved it over to the output. I just tagged it right on to where the shared output, joining it up with the speaker, and that ends up giving me some kind of undesirable stuff going on. So really how that is designed, when I designed the amp, meaning slapped it together, I did a bridged mono to stereo input, and then on the stereo output, one channel went to the EQ, one channel goes to the power amp, and the other channel goes to this circuit board that's supposed to make these dancing LEDs. Well, it's not enough. It's not enough power driving it. I saw a video on YouTube where the guy was driving that off of a headphone jack. So the headphone jack is actually putting out a little bit more than a line level signal. So I think that LM386 amp board, I've got LM386s here. I could just as soon build this on Vero. I don't feel like it. Not for 68 cents. They've got a complete power in, audio out little thing with a trimmer on it. So that's what you need to do. Right now, I reran the wires. I snipped the wires and left the existing pigtails. And I moved those over. There's extra wire on there, so you can just snip them again, prep them, and tie them into those same pigtails. And then further on down that line, break that wire and cut in that LM386 amp module and run it off the same power supply as the LED circuit, because that's a separate dedicated 9-volt power supply, and it should just work just fine. So other than that, go through the gig bags, rig tests and new patches. We need to get some patches or basically eliminate the delays that are running on the Zoom. Shut those off. Actually, you know what? I could do this when I'm on the location. You pull up the patch and you step on the, because it scrolls through. You have 3 foot switches and you can scroll through the whole patch. Because it's a little bit bigger than 3, they move. You just scroll over to where the delay is and step on that switch, and it auto saves. So yeah, shut off those delays, and then we're going to be using the Huji, the Moore Ocean Machine. So it'll merely be, I got to think of the tempo of the song, and tap tempo is what I'll be doing. So yeah, do I need to make new patches? Probably not. The rig testing, you know, doing the gig bags and the rig testing is more like drawing diagrams like this, and then seeing, oh well, I'm going to need a pair of stereo cables going in between, you know. So that's going through the gig bag. So that's it. That's the spring to-do list. If anybody has a printer, please contact me. It's black and what it is. It's the it's a layout. It's a drill template. So it's a white background, and there's one rectangular box, and then there's like 6 circles where you drill for where the knobs go. So you'll print this for me and mail it to me, and then this one piece of paper, and then I will cut that out and fold it, and it'll sit on top of my chassis. Here's the chassis, and then I will use a center punch, and hopefully be able to everything will line up and won't look crooked. It won't look homemade. So if anybody wants to help me out with that, I would be in your debt. Maybe if I helped you out, you know, if I did something and that helped you, you learned something from me, you might want to, just because I don't beg for, you know, Patreon, you could help me out. The thing is that normally my wife does this for me, and her work is not happening. She's not working, and I can't afford to go out and buy a printer cartridge for this project. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds, and peace.